Hey everyone, Josh Tatum here with Tatum Farms. Hope everybody's having a great day. I just got off work this morning and I'm going to show y'all how I'm building this year's tomato cages. I still have the traditional ones that you buy at Home Depot and Lowe's. But today I'm going to show you how I had some extra wire laying around the house, and so I'm going to use it to build tomato cages, and it's been working out a lot better than the old crappy ones that you buy. Before we get started, let's feed the chickens, let's turn out the pigs, and then we'll get started. Here we go. As you can see, these pigs don't have much grass in their pen, so while I'm home today, I'm going to turn them out, just let them graze and everything. It's fixing to rain, so more than likely these lazy suckers will be back in that shed. So alright, so what I'm using here is it's 4 foot tall field fence. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut it roughly about 3.5 feet, and then I'm going to bend it around and loop it to each other. So a lot of people, they have some old field fence laying around. I mean, as long as it ain't all rusted out and falling apart, it's going to work. The reason I have new stuff is I've got a bunch of fence material just laying around, a lot of partial pieces, because before I started driving a truck in the oil field, me and my wife had our own business, and we did anything from concrete to metal buildings to a lot of fence. So that is why I have a lot of fence products laying around. So instead of going out and buying stuff, I like to use what I have laying around the house, because like I said in the first video, I'm a tightwad. And so if I can use the stuff laying around my house, I'm going to use that before I have to go out and buy more stuff. Because like I said, on a farm, you don't make much money, but you can make it work as long as you spend your money right. I mean, God gave you a brain, so use it. Use it in a good way. Use it if you can pinch a penny here to save $1, do it. I mean, but there's some stuff I do not go cheap on. Like power tools, I don't go cheap on it. Anyways, let's get started. I know here I've already made some previous ones, so I know it's 7 squares that I need. And on the 7 squares, what I'll do is I'll just count them out and make sure I have 7 full squares. And then on the next square, on the 8th square, I'll cut it right in half, and I'll show you why I do that. There's the piece I need right there. And like I was showing you or telling you, I'll cut the 8th square right in half, because see that little extra right there hanging over? I've got that on both ends right there. So now what I'm going to do, and this wire, it comes in a row, so it automatically wants to roll back up, which is, it helps you out, it's in your favor, is to bring them around like that right there. And them 2 half squares that I have, where I cut it in half, right there, you see that there? I just loop it around. I'll take that one and loop it, And I'll do that whole thing going down there, just looping it back to itself. You don't have to wind them together. I mean, it's just holding a tomato plant, so there ain't no sense in putting a lot of effort into it and a lot of just wasted time. So just loop them back to each other, just like that. Pretty simple. I mean, they're pretty fast to make, that's what I like about them, and they've been working great. And some of you may have to use pliers to wrap these, especially that bottom, that 9-gauge wire. It can get a little tough, so you may want to use pliers to do them. And look, tomato cage, 4 foot tall, ready to go. It's that simple. If y'all got other ideas of simple and cheap ways to make them, hey, put it in the comments. I'm up for more ideas. I mean, one day I thought, well, crap, I need to build some tomato cages, or I need to go buy some, is what my first thought was. And then I got to thinking, you know, if I have to go to the store and buy some, where we live, it's 45 minutes to a near store where you can actually get anything. So I thought, if I drive 45 minutes, I mean, if we go anywhere, it's about 3 hours before we get back home. And I didn't want to waste the time and waste the fuel. Because when I get home, I like to stay home. I don't mind going out and working at the place, but I don't want to have to go back into town and stuff. I mean, I get enough driving working, so I'm a homebody. I like being home. And so I just thought, I have all that wire laying out there, a lot of just partial rows. And that's what I made a lot of my other ones, was just partial rows. So I thought, I'll never use that on anything else. And I really don't want to have to just get rid of it, put it in the dump, because it's wasted materials and wasted money. So that's what it looks like right there. And how I get them to stay in the ground, because I've seen some people, they use cattle panels, which I thought about going the cattle panel route. But for me, cattle panel's $20, and I've got 6 rows of tomato plants, and so it was going to take me 9 panels to do my tomato plants that I've got in just my tomato plant garden. I've got a few in some tubs, and so I thought, that's going to cost me a lot of money, so I didn't want to do that. So I thought, well, heck, let's just do it this way. If it don't work, it don't work, but let's try it. So far, it's been working. I'll show you the ones I've got up, and I'll show you how the tomato plants are doing compared to the regular traditional ones. All right, take a look at these ones I've already built. As you can see, the rebar in there. If you can tell, look at how I just weaved it through there. That way I didn't have to wire it, and it's holding it just fine. So that way you don't have to do fine wire or whatever and wire it. Just run it in through there, and all I had to do was tap it in with the hammer, and they're actually working great. You got enough room where you can still reach in there and pick your tomatoes. Now I want to show you these other ones. Ooh, that's a little muddy getting in there. You can see that one right there. That's just a traditional tomato cage, and you can kind of see it's all cattywampus there at the top. You can get taller ones, but they do cost more. So I got a tomato plant coming all the way out of there. So I want to do something with that if it keeps on growing the way it is. But yeah, these tomato cages, this is the first year I've done them this way, and they're working great. They're easy to make, and they're a lot better than these pieces of junk right here. These here, I don't hardly get much use out of them. We still had them laying around. I had a bunch. It's just, they're just falling apart. The little spot weld that they put on it, I wouldn't even call it a spot weld. A lot of them just end up falling apart. So doing them this way is a lot easier. And a lot of times on these other ones that I have a problem with, putting them in the ground. Because usually when I do, the ground's tough. So they always try to bend. And these here, using the rebar, it makes it a lot easier because I can just tap it in with a hammer. And then I'm done. So I highly recommend them doing this way if you have some old field fence laying around. Some of you taking down, use it up. We're all about saving money. So it's a great way and it's easy to make. So there's how you do it. Well, there you go. There's a cheap and easy way to make some tomato cages. I hope this is helped y'all out. If you don't make them this way, or it may made you think on way you can make one with stuff you have laying around your place. So I mean, this would work in any way. I mean, if you had a tub or something, you can make them a little bit bigger if you need to. You can make them all sizes doing it this way, and that's what I like about them, because I have some more that's maybe a little bit bigger that I'll show you in another video on some different stuff we've done. So if you like this video, make sure and push that little red button underneath that says subscribe. That way you get notifications on when we do more, because my promise is do at least one every week, but I'm actually going to try to do one every other day, as long as the weather in Oklahoma will let me come outside and work. I wasn't able to get in the garden today. I need to do some more stuff, but it's supposed to rain all day long. It's fixing to right now. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm going to try to do another one here in a few days, so make sure and subscribe. Click that button, that way you get notifications, and I'll see y'all on the next video. God bless.